friends. We made it to the new year again. I don't know about you, but by the time January rolls around, I'm usually very ready for things to feel a little more normal. December is always a lot for me. It's the holidays, it's end of year everything. It's wistfully hearing the voice of my dad in my head, reminding me to not let my gas tank get below half because it's freezing outside and it might freeze my gas lines. And of course, it was also my birthday month, and this year that meant turning 60. Add in the planning, the social commitments, the energy it takes to simply be present when you live with multiple sclerosis, and suddenly the calendar feels very overfull in the month of December. And then there's New Year's Day. For years now, I've hosted a big New Year's Day bash, which I love, but that love comes with Costco and Mariano's trips, menu planning, prep lists, and the kind of logistical thinking that takes real energy, even for a totally neurotypical brain, which I do not have. For me and my brain, it's critical to write down and plan everything. On the day of the party, by the time the last dish is washed and the last guest heads home, I usually find myself exhaling deeply and thinking, phew, I made it. But this year, I'm excited to report that this year's New Year's Day bash might have been the best one ever. I had a great time and was able to enjoy the whole day from start to finish. If I'm honest though, sometimes as the planning and the prep work is happening, I hear myself complaining. It's not flat out the sky is falling type of complaining. It sounds more like this. I'm so tired. This is a lot. It's not cold enough outside for my outdoor fridge, my balcony that is. I can't wait for things to just slow down a bit. Or even just something as simple as this. I forgot to buy red onion for the lox and bagels. I can't go to the store one more time. And then I catch myself. Because here's the thing. The alternative to all this busyness is not some peaceful, ideal version of life. The alternative is quiet. And not the good kind of quiet. The lonely kind of quiet. What I'm really reacting to isn't the people or the parties, or even the multiple grocery runs. It's the very human experience of being stretched, physically, emotionally, and socially, and just wanting a little relief. My coach and my therapist both remind me that a little complaining is actually a very normal behavior. Sometimes it's a way to vent stress. Sometimes it's a bid for empathy or connection. Sometimes we complain because we want validation. We want someone to say, that makes sense. And sometimes complaining becomes a habit when we feel powerless or dissatisfied. Do you ever find yourself quietly complaining for one or more of these reasons, my friends? Complaining can become a way of expressing unhappiness when we don't know what else to do with it. And in that way, complaining isn't a character flaw. It's just communication. Still, I've noticed that when I stay in that complaining energy for too long, something shifts. I start focusing on what life isn't instead of what it is. I've caught myself irritated by the crowds or the lines, and then realizing I'm here because I'm preparing to welcome people I love into my home. I've heard myself say, I'm exhausted, even when what I really meant was, I've given a lot of myself, and that matters. I have felt overwhelmed after social plans, and then remembered that there was a time when I would have given anything to be invited, included, connected. That doesn't mean I suddenly stop feeling tired or that MS magically takes a day off. It just means I try to widen the lens and see the bigger picture. As we move into a new year, I'm not making a resolution to never complain. That feels unrealistic and a little unkind. Instead, I'm practicing noticing. My goal is to notice when a complaint is really a request for rest. My goal is to notice when frustration is covering gratitude. My goal is to notice when my life is full, not because it's easy, but because it's meaningful. This year, my invitation to myself and maybe to you is simple. Let's see if we can spend a little more time with what is instead of what isn't. That doesn't mean pretending we aren't stressed out by world affairs. That doesn't mean bypassing sadness, fear, or grief. It just means noticing and accepting things as they are a little bit more often. Because sometimes when we slow down enough to listen, our complaints are actually pointing us towards something worth appreciating, even in the middle of the day-to-day mess that life can sometimes look like. Well, Happy New Year's, friend. Happy New Year, friends. I look forward to another year of video blogs, stories, and even a book release. Now that's a goal worth celebrating for a whole year, and I have every intention of doing just that, letting the year ahead be a celebration. Ciao, ciao for now.